Hey, this is John Carlos, and I'm here with a look at the Star Wars Black Series action figure of Black KRRSANTAN from the book of Boba Fett. So here's a look at KRRSANTAN right out of the box, and I'm liking what I'm seeing. Hasbro already made a previous KRRSANTAN figure that is based on his comic book appearance, but that figure was just the previously made Chewbacca figure in black with some armor added on, and the armor didn't look right. The way it was placed on him, he looked too skinny. This looks much better than that. This actually looks like KRRSANTAN. As far as I can tell, it's all new pieces, like all of it. And it certainly captures his look in the show, I think. Especially like in the head, the proportions, the shape of his head to like his chest and shoulders, the overall design of this looks really, really good. I love, let's see if I can get a closer look at the expression on his face there. The eyes look good, the way the hair flows, the mouth, the little open mouth. The mild use of like kind of grayish, whitish paint looks good, but I'm really, really happy with what I'm seeing here as far as the head, as far as his dreads, and the paint on his armor. It's modest, but that little bit of like coppery goldish paint onto the basic plastic of it, those little sections there do kind of highlight a kind of metallic look, which I think is nice. Let's see if I can get just a look at the little emblem on his chest, the way the fur kind of hangs over the edges of the belt, like there's a little gap in the sculpt. That's a nice touch. The way the fur hangs on the rest of them was really good too, but I like the way that they took into account, look, you can see it hanging over the edge of his feet there, but they took into account that there's going to be a belt there. Speaking of the belt, the stuff hanging off it and the paint on it is pretty damn good too. He comes with just one accessory, his little blaster, and it does have a plug on it. Let me give you a closer look there just so you can see like the tip of it. But yeah, it does have a plug that allows you to plug it into the hole on his back, and even the hole on his back is at a slight angle, so it can rest and kind of read over his shoulder a bit, like so. And even just like that, like the presence on the tabletop is pretty good. I like the way it looks with the gun kind of attached to the back like that. I'm happy to report that like the shoulder joints, the elbow joints, the wrists, the knees, they're all, they're not tight, they move well, they're not too loose. The only problem is the length of the butt of his gun kind of prevents you from like tucking it into his arm, so you have to bend his arm kind of wide at the elbow to even get the forearm to swing over, to bend his wrist inward, to even get the left hand to grip the gun. It's not ideal, and I wish there was a cleaner, better looking way for him to use both hands to hold the gun. It really seems to me that like this figure only kind of functions with him holding the gun in one hand, perfectly. But still, the fact that, speaking of hands, the fact that they included his little brass knuckles or whatever, his little electro knuckles, that is a nice touch. A lot of nice details in here, just like the little red paint on the gun, the little kind of highlights of gray paint on his fur, like on his legs, on his hair. I freaking love this figure. I'm, I don't want to say a hypocrite, but I'm always torn because I do think Hasbro kind of sucks with their deluxe figures, which this is a deluxe figure, because almost every figure I've seen, I do not see the higher price point. I don't see it in the value of the figure I'm getting. In the case of this figure, it's not terribly big. I think the only reason you're paying a higher price is because Hasbro thinks, like, well, since they had to tool all new parts for all of it, that costs more. And granted, yeah, they're not going to be reusing this sculpt a lot, if any, if ever. But still, this to me should just be a normal figure, and Hasbro continues to throw a middle finger at collectors like me, who continue to buy deluxe figures, so whatever. Do I like this? Yes. In the end, price, schmice. I like it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this deluxe Black Series figure. And if you want to be up to date with all my latest reviews, be sure to click subscribe.